Good evening, Meeple people, and welcome to a special episode of me playing Tetris and giving you tips on how to do the spinning and the winning of Tetris. So obviously a very tongue-in-cheek video. I have a good friend who has a YouTube channel talking about Nintendo Ninja News, and so he was playing Tetris 99, which gave me inspiration for this video. So shout out to all the Canberra Nintendo Switch players, and shout out to Chris. All right, so I don't have Tetris 99, but what I do is Puyo Puyo Tetris. So I'm just gonna start the video. Obviously, I'm not doing this live, so I can be able to give you tips because it's very hard to talk and play Tetris at the same time. So we're in marathon mode, so basically it goes from level 1 to level 15. Oof, already got tip number 1. All right, let me rewind. Boom, boom, boom. First piece, we have this S shape. It's very hard to start Tetris with one of these pieces, and so tip number 1 is learn how to use hold. If you are not using hold, you are not going to be able to play Tetris to the level that you want to play at, because the little amount of control you have over the pieces that are coming next all comes down to what you're holding, and so straight away you do not want any gaps in your line. So you can see here, right under here, I don't want that gap, and so I'm going to put this piece on hold. Go away. And so boom. All right, tip number 2, you want to set up for 4 in a row. Set up for 4 in a row. The actual term is called setting up for a Tetris, which basically means using this L-ish shape. I think it's called the L shape or the I shape. The long 4 piece, this piece here, you want to set that up to go into either your left hand side corner, because you're leaving a gap there, because you want to set up for that big Tetris. So always leave that gap. Okay, so teaching moment. I would not normally have put the piece there, but I set it up because you'll notice when you have 3 blocks in a row, like this gap of 3 over here, the only piece that can fit there is this shape. And because we're trying to set up 4 in a row over here, like, we need to make sure we're leaving it for here. So we shouldn't be setting up situations where we're using this piece elsewhere. Otherwise, we're just not going to get enough of them. So tip number 3 right here, do not create a gap of 3. Because that is very counterproductive to our tip number 2. Alright, let's play again. Promise I won't be pausing as much, because you're gonna see the tips coming out straight away, and then you'll see me implementing them over and over again. It takes a while for you to establish a style, but once you do it, it's much quicker to play and play. And so when you follow simple rules, you'll be able to play as fast as you can, especially when doing Tetris battles. So boom, you can see I did the Tetris there, and so that's my goal for the game, is to only do Tetrises. Save up those big pieces over here for those Tetrises, just like that. So tip number 4, try not to go tall, like stay as flat as possible, because it restricts the number of pieces you can play. Whoops, stay flat as possible. So when I say flat as possible, you want your top level, your skyline, to be as flat, because what that's doing is reducing, it's increasing all the options you can play. Whereas if you have a really tall thing, there's like one piece that can fit there, ideally. And so you want to increase the number of pieces that fit there by having like a flat surface. There we go. So you can see it's nice and flat. I can play any pieces anywhere I want, and it allows me to play pieces faster and faster. You can notice I'm holding correctly. Now, try to clear your lines as quickly as possible. So if you have a Tetris line, clear it, because you want that hold to be used for other things. The thing that's least valuable to hold is one of these Z, the red or green pieces, the Z and the S's, because they're the hardest to place down. So you want your hold available for them to come into, and then get rid of them out of hold as soon as possible. So you can see how I'm going to try to get rid of this S as soon as possible. There we go. So obviously I can predict my style because I know what it is. But anyway, with these 4 tips, you'd go a long way. I guess the last tip will be when the game gets faster, which is to clear, starting to ignore the Tetris setup and just scoring every single line, because if it's coming down fast, it'll be just impossible to hold on. Let me move a bit forward. Alright, so this is about the time where I start to struggle due to the speed. You notice I'm not dropping them down, the speed's just forcing them down. And so tip number 5 is learning how to travel. I mean that from like the basketball term traveling, where you're taking too many steps when you're dribbling. But basically what it means is when your pieces are, let me fast forward a little bit, coming down so fast and you don't have time to place them, you can dance on the top row a little bit. So let us see, this is probably better. There we go. You can see a perfect travel there. Basically what you do is, as long as you're pressing the left and right movement pieces and you're pressing the rotation key, you're able to travel along the top, because the game gives you a couple of seconds, I mean not a couple of seconds, like I don't know, maybe half a second or something before it locks the piece in place. So if you don't move, it'll lock the piece in place, but if you keep sliding and you keep rotating, you'll be able to travel along the top, which is, yeah. So tip number 5, when speeding, learn to travel. Bing! Alright, so that's the Tetris top 5 tips of today. Oh, perfect timing. So, thanks for watching this video. Hope, I don't know, maybe it was a bit entertaining. Maybe you learned a few tips and tricks. Try it out in your next game and you will become a Tetris champion. Boom, bum, 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 bum.